Margaret, my daughter. She was an angel, my sweetheart. I regret not reaching out to her like I should have. After she moved out 6 years ago, she became so distant. We rarely spoke. I used to miss her all the time. And now, she's gone. She told me not to meddle in her house in Oakwood, and never did I myself go there, or allowed anyone else. It is just as it was, and it will always be. Never thought one day one of us will be gone. Now it's only the three of us. Margaret, Cynthia, Janice, and Andy have been friends since childhood. They have stuck together all through elementary school to high school. And even when they went their own ways in college, they never truly forgot each other. And when they all got news of Margaret's untimely demise, they were heartbroken. Margaret had passed away in a yacht accident while on vacation. And just before the funeral, the friends received a last automated email from Margaret that was sent out upon her death. In it, only 2 words. The Pact. This is our pact of secrecy. We will always keep our secrets, and under no circumstance can we reveal anything to anyone. And in the event of any of our death, we will see to it that the secret of our friend is buried in their grave. Promise? Promise. Wait, but what happens to the last of us? You learn from our mistakes and don't keep any secrets behind. All right, fine, promise. They were only 10 when they had made the pact of secrecy, but the friends held it up like their life depended on it. And over the years, they did what needed to be done whenever the situation called for. Like when Andy was caught having an affair with their English teacher, Mrs. Lane. You will not tell anyone. You swore on the pact. The pact? Since when did you take the pact seriously? Since now. Let me explain, Margaret. It's alright, don't worry. Our secret is safe. She won't tell. Her life depends on it. At least get a room. Or when Janice finally spilled the beans. Maggie, I need to tell you something. What? Why do you look so worried these days? What did you do? I'm pregnant. What? You're pregnant? What are you going to do now? What choice do I have? Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. As for Cynthia, everyone thought she didn't have any secrets. She was an open book, never feared anything. But the truth was, she also had a big secret. Cynthia knew her dad wasn't really her dad. Her mother was unfaithful to him. And Margaret, she was the most innocent of them all. She could do no wrong. She was an angel. But now, upon her death, the friends were left with one message from her. The pact. What do you think she meant? You know what she meant. We have to get rid of her secrets. But she never had any secrets. The friend suddenly heard a car drive up outside the funeral, and a suited-up man walked out. Who is he? Isn't that Douglas Phillips, the politician? What is he doing here? Hello, Mr. Phillips. I've heard about you from Margaret. She told me about the charity fund she was working on with you. Yes, Mrs. Collins. I'm so sorry for your loss. Your daughter, she was amazing. She was an extraordinary woman with lots of talent. A charity fund? I told you she was an angel. She doesn't have any secrets. No, we have to go back to the house and find out what she wanted us to find out and get rid of it. You mean break in? Do we have to do this? It's what she would have wanted. We owe it to her as our friends. All right. So that night, Cynthia, Janice, and Andy drove out to Margaret's Oakland home. We have to climb up. This was easy back in high school, but now? Girls are crazy. Breaking into the house, the friends all stood in Margaret's old bedroom. It's just like before. So, what are we searching for? Think like a teenager. The friends started scavenging the room, looking through every drawer, every nook, and every corner, until Janice got her hands on a shoebox. What's in here? Opening it up, the friends all froze. Whoa, I knew she wasn't an angel. Still better than you. Yeah, who knows what else we might find. You're right, found booze. As the girls continued looking under her bed, Andy went over to her desk. He noticed a small journal stuffed in between her textbooks. Her diary. I wish I could tell him how much I love him, but I can't. I'm too afraid to ruin our friendship. Too afraid to hurt him. I love you, Andy. Reading the entry, Andy froze. He had been crushing on Margaret since 5th grade. And although he was a ladies' man, he always thought she was too good for him, and never opened up to her about it. All this time, she had a crush on me? Did you guys know about this? What? She never told me anything. Wait a minute. Did any of you also have a crush on me? You wish. She was the only one who was charitable. Haha, funny. All of a sudden, the girls heard a noise. Cynthia rushed to the window and peeked out. There was a car parking. Who was that? They all stared at Douglas Phillips. Him? He's getting in the house. Quick, hide. The friends all ran around the house and got into their hiding spots. They secretly watched as Douglas began searching the house. Did he have the keys? Or did he just break in too? What is he looking for? Oh no, he's coming this way. As the friends tried to stay as still as possible, something suddenly ran over Cynthia's feet, and she yelled out, "Mouse!" Stumbling right in front of Douglas, Cynthia froze. "Who are you? And what are you doing here?" Fortunately, Andy and Janice stepped out to her support. We're Margaret's childhood friends. But what are you doing here? I'm Douglas Phillips. We were acquaintances. Yes, we know that. But what are you doing here in her house at this time of the night? Margaret and I were working on a confidential project, and keeping the papers with me wasn't safe, so I gave them to her. But she didn't want to risk keeping it with her, so she said she would keep them at this house. I thought I'd drop by and find it here. Hearing Douglas, the friends all passed each other a glance. So this is the secret? Are we here to destroy his papers? We can't let him have it. But what are you guys doing here? We were reminiscing our memories. I understand. You know something? I've never been to this house before, but you guys know this place well. Perhaps you can help me find it? All right. The friends immediately began looking around the house, looking in every room, in every corner. Where could she put it? Wait a minute. What's that hole? Moving the clothes aside, Andy and Janice stared at a hidden door in the closet. Cynthia, come here. The friends pushed the wall in, revealing a secret room. Stepping inside, they were speechless. What is this place? It's a love cave. She was into this kind of stuff? Who could imagine? There were whips, handcuffs, and other contraptions on the wall, along with tons and tons of pictures. You guys, is that him? Douglas Phillips? As the friends stared at compromising pictures of the politician, they heard footsteps behind them. Well done. Andy, Cynthia, and Janice froze at gunpoint as Douglas chuckled. Your friend, she was a very special woman. She had a strange obsession, and she also had the talent for it. Margaret Collins, or as she was secretly known, Madame Irene Adler, was a masquerade dominie. From a very young age, Margaret had a very different and very strange obsession. Seeing others in pain gave her excitement. But Margaret always kept her inner identity to herself, and the world knew her as an innocent angel. It was 6 years ago, whilst participating in a fundraiser, Douglas Phillips noticed her and grew a likeness for her. And that summer together turned out wild. Douglas and Margaret continued to see each other, and they got into a sort of relationship. Douglas became obsessed with Margaret. He felt, for the first time in his life, a woman was meeting up to his expectations. But when things progressed far enough, and Douglas also reached a position of power, Margaret discovered he wasn't the white knight that everyone saw him as. Douglas Phillips was extremely corrupt. He was taking money from the most evil businessmen for his campaign. And then, after winning the election, he was selling his own people's life and future to his benefactors. He would support and vindicate every wrong of his benefactors. Even if that meant turning his back to humanity. And ruin the life of the people of his own country in the process. When Margaret discovered all this, she realized there was nothing she could do. From media to the law enforcement, everything was in their pockets. So she started blackmailing Douglas Phillips on a personal level. Threatening to ruin his personal reputation, so that she could use this money to make an impactful exposure. I need 10 million. 10 million? I can't give you that kind of money. Of course you can. You're Douglas Phillips. You can pull some strings and make it happen. Not going to happen. Alright, then perhaps I'll have to do something about it. You recorded us. I want to see the money in my account in 24 hours. Margaret had been blackmailing Douglas for the past year, while she kept all the evidence locked up in her secret chamber in the private house that she had inherited from her father. even though she lived with her mother. In her senior years of high school, she and her friends would hang out at this house. And once she enrolled into college, she moved into a flat in the city. Knowing her life was endangered, she kept an automated email that would be sent out in case of her death, so her friends could come here and discover the evidence. Eventually, when things came to Douglas's breaking point, he planned to get rid of Margaret. Margaret didn't die in an accident. It was Douglas who invited her to the yacht and found her himself. It was then he began searching for the evidence. When he didn't find anything at her apartment in the city, he made his way to the funeral, met her mother, and found out about this house. Finally, I found what I needed. But now that you all know my secret, how about you join your friend? Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.